343 Lab says, who's excited for Sync this weekend? Pavel seems to be totally excited. Sync is, well, this grand event that we're having. We're syncing 2 days straight, at least 8 hours a day. Got a whole lineup going on. John Selway, Anthony Rother, Christian Smith, Tetra, Great Dane. It's totally exciting. Totally exciting. So to start. Pavel's getting impatient that the music is almost done here in the start screens, and we'll get started. Hey everybody, we're back again. One more time. It's Friday, 1 p.m. Looks like Simple Sam almost got caught out there with daylight savings time. Yes, daylight savings time is a thing. We changed our times here in the U.S., and I think a lot of people might not have noticed that for those European people that are out there. Yeah. So, we gotta just ride with it until people figure it out. They just made it a law. Well, they're about to make it a law in the United States that they're canceling that whole changing of time thing as of maybe 2023. We're not going to have that anymore. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, my name is Abe Duque. I'm here every Friday at 1 p.m. This is 343 TV you're watching. We stream on topics that you like to hear about, and, I try to show you things, teach you things. We're from a school, 343 Labs, and if you want to know more, come to 343labs.com and check it out. So everything's pretty hectic here at 343 Central. It's the crunch time, really, for tomorrow, where we have our stream sync event starting. We have 2 days of streaming. The whole weekend, I think, we're going to be streaming. It's insanity, actually. It's a production nightmare, I tell you that much. We've been going through, because we have people playing live here, doing a stream over there. We're switching from Berlin to New York to, wherever, upstate New York, where I am. We're going to be doing this for hours, and we're going to hope that nothing goes wrong. I think we got this. I mean, we've been really trying hard to put it together. John Selway's always been working very hard at putting it together. Also, Vasilis in Berlin has been working super hard. I mean, everybody's been working super hard on this. We've had dress rehearsals. We just had a dress rehearsal a little while ago. Went really great. I can't wait for you guys to come down and see the action. I'll be on at 2 p.m. New York time tomorrow. And I think there's a schedule. You can see the schedule. I don't have it in my head right now. Maybe if 343 is in the chat right now, they can go ahead and put the schedule for the Sync event tomorrow. Very cool program for Sync. Yes, Simple Sam says. It is a very cool program. We have some very nice guests coming together. Anyway, today, I just wanted to kind of hang out with you guys and have a kind of an easy, cool day. Maybe I wanted to kind of just work on some music with you guys, and I wanted to kind of show you a couple of my favorite things or plugins or instruments that I like to use. Some of my maybe secret weapons, you may call them, or you may just say they're just fun devices that I like. I put some up already here on my Ableton setup, and I believe if I need more, I can grab more, but I grab a few. And let's start with. Hold on. Let me look at the chat. What's going on? Calico Council is a Apache cat. Yes. Oh, by the way, I have to every time talk about my little cat. Itsy Bitsy, or there's my cat. One more time. I have to do that every week. Show you me and my cat. All right. Now I'm gonna put him back away to the corner over here, next to my modular setup, right in there. Okay. So let's get back to the show here. There's my Ableton screen. So I wanted to start out maybe with, of course, you always start out with a kick drum. And my favorite kick drum device out there is this guy over here. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this thing. For many years, many years, I spent trying to figure out, how to get the perfect kick drum going. My cat is cute. Thanks. Sorry, Pavel says my cat is cute. Yes, my cat is very cute. Anyway, back to the kick drums. Anyway, so with the the need to make kick drums. I mean, I remember when I first had my first sampler. My first sampler was the Casio FZ1, and it was great to have samples from like 909s and existing drum machines, and you hunted for those, and then maybe you went through records trying to grab kicks off of records. And then after that, maybe you bought a drum machine and maybe bought another device and maybe went through and got a plug-in and maybe looked through a bunch of collections. But, it was always a quest for the best and greatest drum, kick drum that you can get. And that quest kind of ended when I found this guy, the Punchbox. It is amazing. And first of all, if you look in here, we have hundreds really of presets of just kick drums. But the way this thing is laid out is it has a number of ways of making it. The main part of it is this kick here, this device in the center here. So you can switch out this device and you can make let's actually start programming a kick with it. So with this device, any note that you play is going to be the same note. It doesn't really change the note. You can't really pitch it. And that's one thing that I wish it would do, like let you play it like an 808 in making kind of kicks with bass lines with kicks, which is really cool. But fine. It's okay. I guess I could also sample it. So let's drop in 4 on the floor here. And it already sounds really cool, that kick. So if I go through the presets, I'm just gonna run through the presets here. Eventually you see that the center device switches out. That's a sine generator, 606. It has a few different things to choose from. I think there's a 909 in there as well. And of course that's the 909 and the 808. I think it's a little clipping, so let me just lower it a little bit. I don't want to clip it out. I'll just raise the volume here for me. So yeah, and again, so many presets, and then tweaking it out, there's a little click that you could add here, and there's a little bit of tops here where you can really work, all these kind of, parameters on the top part of it with filters for that and decay and tuning for the top. And I guess it's just a little kind of like noise on the top there. And then some other tools. And then you have all sorts of like bit crushers and distortion and filters and equalizers and limiters. And at the end of the day, you can really, it's just like a one-stop shop for kicks. And I think my favorite kicks at the moment are, come from this device, and creating kicks in this device is just, for me, the cat's pajamas, if you will. So let's just stick with one for now, and we'll come back and tweak that in a little bit. But what I wanted to do is get a kick drum from there. I just wanted to show you that. But I have some couple of things here. Just have a TR8. The reason I have it is I want to make a bass line from this TB303, and I want to record it into my Ableton. Now, recording into Ableton with an external device, you need to kind of sync them up. So I wanted to kind of run through that, how to sync up external devices to Ableton. Let's go to the preferences so that we can have a look at what needs to be configured here. In MIDI, you need a MIDI in and MIDI out device. So many devices have that. In this instance, I'm going to use the TR8 MIDI in and MIDI out. However, I'm not going to sync like you would imagine that I could sync the TR8 to Ableton and have Ableton play, and then the TR8 would sync, and then subsequently the bassbot would play. I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm going to sync the Ableton to the TR8. And in order to do that, I just need to have the import on the TR8, the sync selected. And when you have that, then you're able to, you get this little button here. Now, sometimes you might not see this button be there if you don't have any sync ports selected, in ports that is. In this case, I'm going to turn that one on. And now Ableton, if I try to run it by pressing play, will not run. It won't go. It just waits until it gets the sync. And the little light that you see clicking there, the little orange light there, that's the sync code from my TR8. And if I start and stop it, there we go. I have the TR8 kind of playing in sync here with this punch box. So let me turn off the punch box for a second and let me get some sound from the TR8 first of all. So there's a kick drum there. I'm going to make a short decay on it and a little louder there. And what I want, the reason I want that is just I want to sync it up to my DAW so that they're running in really tightly in time, because if I'm going to record anything that's synced up, I need to record it tightly. So if you see, I stop it, and when I start it, my DAW starts. So I'm in control of the DAW, but let's confirm now that the time is the time code is tight. So I'll turn on the metronome, and as you can hear, it's a terrible metronome sound. Let's get another metronome sound. Let's go for the click. As you can hear, they're like they're a little bit off. This totally not going to work if we want to be super tight, so we're going to have to fix that. Well, the way we fix that, if we go back into the preferences, and in the this part here in the in the sync portion of the in, we have, if I open up the arrow of the TR8 here, the in of the TR8, I can have a kind of regulation of how I can push forward or pull back in time the code of the TR8 versus the Ableton. So I'm going to do it quite a lot so you could hear the difference big times. So now I've totally ruined it. Now it's like completely off. If you double click it, it goes back to 0, but it's still just a little bit off. And it's not really going to be satisfying for me. If I go the other direction, however, and I feel like a DJ now, mixing two records, and it's basically what you're trying to do. You got to get them right on top of each other. Right now at 20.5 milliseconds of minus for the TR8 makes the time code lock in perfectly with Ableton. And if I go back to 0, that's what we had before, just to kind of let you listen to the difference. So let's get back to 20.5 milliseconds. Now, one thing that might, even 20 milliseconds, negative 20 milliseconds works pretty okay, I would say. Now, one thing that when I was preparing for this, I tried to sync them up, and they weren't syncing up. And by default, this is MIDI clock we're working here. By default, I had MIDI time code set up, and it wasn't syncing. So let's see if it's syncing now with MIDI time code. Look, it's not. It's off, completely off. It doesn't obey the drum machine anymore. It's just doing its own thing. So MIDI time code and MIDI clock are two different, but both through MIDI related systems, and you both have to be on the system. Like the drum machine obviously is on MIDI clock, and you have to set Ableton to MIDI clock as well. So if MIDI timecode's not working, then MIDI clock is the one you choose. And now we're pretty tight there. So let's turn off the metronome and turn back our punch box. And let's turn off the kick drum on the TR8. Okay, so what I really wanted to record was this guy, so let's get this guy going. And where is the sound on this guy? There it is. So let's start this again. Let's raise the level on this. So I want to get some acid. I love acid, everybody. I'm gonna work the controls here on the TT303. Let me zoom in a little bit on it so that you guys see me working it. So basically, if you guys have never played with a TT303 or a TB303, there are 6 knobs. This one is taped up, of course. You know me in the tape is because it's tuning, and when you tune it, you want to kind of keep it tuned, and you don't want to touch it by mistake. So because of that, you get tape on it. Then you have cutoff. So it's cutoff refers to, a lot of times on synthesizers you'll see either cutoff or frequency or freak, and it's basically the same parameter. They're referring to cutoff frequency, which is the cutoff frequency on a filter, on a low pass filter most of the time. And this is a low pass filter, and we can open and close filter. The next knob is going to be resonance, or sometimes referred to as res. And resonance is basically some amplitude at the cutoff frequency. So you get a little ski jump on the cutoff frequency of amplitude, and that's really nice to play with. And then envelope modulation. So this is controlling the filter envelope. Both these two, this is the decay on the filter envelope, and then there's some modulation here also on the filter envelope. And then the last control here is going to be accent. And accent is probably not set on any keys here, so actually it's set on all the keys. So let me erase the accent from, see if I can get some accent on certain spots. Okay, there's one note, really, the way this is. And I like this pattern so much, I want to record it first, and maybe I'll make another pattern after that. Polka dot, day glow, washi tape. Okay. Sorry, just got distracted by the Danica in the chat. So I'm going to start making a pass. So now I'm going to set to record here on audio 4. I got to make sure that my correct audio interface is set. So I'm going to go back to my preferences, look in the audio interface. Input device is going to be, yes, my universal audio, and that is going to go through 1 and 2, but 1 and 2 is my voice. I wanted to go through to another set, 3 and 4 maybe, and maybe if I do that, okay, I want to get, hold on, I would maybe do this, and this is probably going to be just the 303. I got all this fancy routing here on my mixing console to get things going. So let's arm it for recording, and I could record in mono if I wanted to. I'm set to record the same thing on any of these channels, but 1 and 2 is set to also record my voice and whatever's happening from the DAW or the punch box. Only want what's happening in the 303. So I'm just going to take channel 3, which I know is coming from the 303, and I'm going to hit record. And there's that, and you could tell that it's just that 303 recording right now. I'm going to do a little pass here. You know, first raising the cutoff a little bit. Playing the 303 is a little bit of a fun discipline that you have to kind of develop. The fact that you have 2 knobs that you could turn at once, or maybe more, because you have 2 hands, is really fun. Something you can't really do in a synthesizer. I mean, in a in the box synthesizer, like like anything to do with a mouse, right? Unless you put it on a controller. So right now I've brought the cutoff about halfway and the resonance about halfway, and I've opened the envelope modulation a little bit. Let me close it up to show you what it does. And it changes. Tell there's a little bit of pitch changes when I mess with this stuff. That's just the analog in this. And let's play with the decay on the envelope modulator. I mean, on the envelope. And let's open it up all the way. Let's make it real dramatic. So it's just like. just get that cutoff all the way open. Okay, some drama is going on now. Let's pull back on the resonance while the cutoff is completely open. Play with the decay at the same time, and modulation. I have no accent to play with because it's not really programmed in. Now we're back to kind of a more neutral position, and I like to kind of work it these passes. So I started at a certain position with these knobs set to a certain position, and then kind of end back at that same position again, so that when this loops around now, after having done this, we're gonna have it kind of sound seamless. Let's end it there for now. And let me turn this off. And there it's going. So let me go to the end, see how it loops around at the end. And then loop. That wasn't so bad. That kind of closed off of there, but I got a good, I don't know, couple of minutes, at least 3 minutes of that going. It's a little noisy, but that's okay. I guess it's because I ran it through all these Eurorack stuff, and there's a bunch of things that are probably open right now, but a little bit of grime is not a bad idea sometimes in our tracks. And there goes that punch box, and remember that punch box is doing its thing. Let's play with that, and it's great now because I have like Abe playing in the background because Abe recorded that take. I like doing long takes, and it's nice and synced up. Everything is working really nice. Daniel says, "Hey Abe, how are you dealing with record latency in Ableton? Ableton seems very flaky. MIDI with will be super tight, but then recording is out of by enough to make it the recording unusable." That hasn't been my experience. We dealt with it earlier on. We kind of got it tight and we got it ready to go. And at that point, everything worked all right. Now, one of the things I am trying today that is different. Let me turn this off for a second. One of the things that I am doing today that's different than I might have done in the past, or that maybe you're doing, Daniel, is that I am using Ableton in it's actually in external control mode. So meaning I'm not using Ableton as the master clock. I'm using the drum machine, the simple drum machine, as the master clock. And so when I hit play on the drum machine, everything syncs up to the drum machine. So I could actually speed up Ableton with the knob here. You can't see it because I need to zoom out in there. But as I'm turning the knob, I'm controlling the speed of Ableton, as you could see. Let me just get that closer on there. I'm down to 431 BPM on this, and I could speed it up here. And as you can see, it's changing the tempo here and locking right in. But once again, maybe you didn't see it before, so let's get back to 124, I think is the tempo we had. And it's funny enough though, you see that on my on the TR8 here, it says 124 that the tempo is. And it's pretty tight on the computer, but you see there's a minimal amount of drift there that happens, which is okay. We could accept that. You know, right now it's pretty tight, but I saw a little 01 come up there. Sorry to clarify, but what I mean is that if you then play the recording together with MIDI device, it will be out. Yeah, probably just my audio device. Yeah, You do have to kind of fiddle with it. Every system seems to be a little different, but as I'm doing it today, I think this has been very tight compared to what I've done in the past when it comes to maybe using Ableton as the master clock and trying to control other things. But either way, just to show you what I did, you have this setup here where you can compensate for the time that's off, and you do have to kind of run the metronome and maybe a kick drum on the other device to just make sure that it's super tight, and kind of ensure that they're going to stay that tight. This is kind of hanging in there. Now the latency from my audio interface, that's another story. Maybe we could try a test here. Let's try a test. Let's try to record the kick drum. Let me turn off the punch box and try to record. I'll set up another channel here, and I'll try to record from the 3 or 4 here, and I'll try to get this kick drum that I have in here with all that fuzzy air in it recorded or synced up to. First I'll sync it up and then I'll record it and see how it actually matches up on the recording. So start and stop. Okay. Metronome. They seem to be right on top of each other. A little bit of phasing or out of phase action, but seems to be pretty okay. Let's see how that looks though when recorded to the clip and how it stays on the. And this is pretty good. Look at that. I mean, I would say that's super usable as far as being tight. It's super usable. I mean, that's not drifting at all. It's just staying right in there. And I'll let it record a little more, and then I'll zoom in and check how far it actually is off, if any. And let's turn that off now. And let's have a look. Stop that playback. And let's have a look at what's happening in here. So I'll zoom in at the very end. Look at that. That's tight, man. I mean, okay, that little bit but we're looking at 2048 notes. So the resolution is very, very high there. So we're looking good here. So I think one of the big deals is going to be a good audio interface to be able to keep this tight. I have an Apollo 16 here, which is working rather well at this job. So yeah, I mean, it is a problem, but there are ways to get about fixing it. So I've had it where I wanted to record, say, a kick drum from my gear or whatever, and it's been off. And in Ableton, it's easy enough to just grab a warp marker and just move it over and lay them right onto the beat and be okay with it. But anyway, let's get back in here. Let's take this out. I don't need this one here. Maybe I'll just leave that channel in case I want to record something else on it and get this sound going again. So I got to start it from here though. So it's a very, very fuzzy sound. I had a lot of gear in there, so there's plenty of fuzz on that. So let's get some hi-hats to kind of obfuscate that. I really do like the built-in the drum synths in Ableton. They're really nice. You can quickly get something going that's going to be very satisfying. By the way, it's halfway through the stream. Just wanted to remind you that you're watching 343 TV. My name is Abe Duque. I am an instructor at 343 Labs. You can come to our website and check out our class schedule and maybe take a class with me or with any of our other very handsome and beautiful instructors. We're preparing this week to launch our sync event. I guess this is the launch event for the 343 Studio. Yeah, the kick is awesome, right? Says Martin Crockett. Yeah, so let's just get that little bit in there. kind of cover things up there. Yeah, so just to remind you, tomorrow is the Sync event starts. We're going to be doing it all day, about 8 hours of actual streaming, which is going to be crazy because we're going to be streaming from all different places in the world, and we're going to be trying to organize it like a TV network or something like that. Let's see how it goes. Crossing our fingers, right? Knocking on wood. Andrew Duque is here. Abe, what is your cat's favorite style of music? I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I haven't played him enough music to say. I would say I think a cat likes reggae, but that's kind of a no-brainer. Every cat likes reggae. Anyway, let's keep going here. Let me show you some other devices that I really enjoy playing with. So once again, just to remind you, I'm playing with this punch box. It's my favorite way to make kick drums. I mean, the parameters on here, the devices, and the way that it's set up, it's just perfect, absolutely perfect for making kick drums. And it's a really one-stop shop, and you could forget about any other way of making kick drums after you have something like this. But now I have a Yamaha device, a Yamaha synthesizer that I absolutely love. This is probably, if I could afford it, I would buy this synthesizer. I tell you, this is an amazing synthesizer. This is the Yamaha CS-80. It is let me read you what it says in the Wikipedia entry. It's the Yamaha CS-80 is an analog synthesizer released in 1977. It supports true 8-voice polyphony with 2 independent synth layers per voice, each with its own set of front panel controls, in addition to a number of hardwired preset voice settings and 4 parameter settings stores based on bank of sub-miniature potentiometers, rather than digital programmable presets that the Prophet 5 would have, soon after that. This is an exceptional synthesizer. It's my favorite sounding synthesizer. It is what was used to create the soundtrack for Blade Runner by Vangelis. I think Chariots of Fire, if you remember that movie. Well, there's a famous synth track from Chariots of Fire that everybody loves. Also, Doctor Who theme. The 80s Doctor Who theme was made with this. It's a beautiful synthesizer. It just is a gorgeous sounding synthesizer. And if I had $10,000 or more, it's probably worth more like $12,000, $13,000 now. You guys can maybe go look on Reverb, see if you find one for me, and tell me how much it is. Let's hear it. Let's hear this thing. Now, this is not the real one, but this is the Arturia version of it, which is a pretty good, faithful sort of emulation of it. Such a beautiful, expressive. The thing cries, the thing sings, the things makes you scared because they could do some really sci-fi growly sounds. It's just amazing. It really is just amazing. Well, let's add some sounds into what I'm doing here with this guy. Let's pick a preset that maybe I might enjoy. Let's see. I remember some of these presets are. Let's see. There's All Dead is a really nice one. Just the beauty of this. I mean, let's go low. So weird and ethereal. But let's get it in the mix. Let's play. Oh, got to start over here. Maybe at this point I could turn off the external control now and let Ableton kind of do its own thing. I'll just start recording and let's see what we get. That's drifting, isn't it? weird. There's a hiccup there. Let's change the octave range here. Lower, too low. Let's go higher. All of this stuff I'm just gonna resample. I should have just been recording. All right, that's great stuff. That's really scary stuff. Drifting into space, says Simple Sam. Yes, there's a clone called Descartes' Dream, says Daniel. I want it. It's pretty expensive too. I want that thing, which is it's beautiful. You know, if Behringer ever makes a CS-80, I'm totally in there. On Reverb, the Yamaha cost 61,000 euros. Yeah, that's inflation for you. You know, 4 or 5 years ago, it would have been 10 grand. That's insane how much this thing is. All right, let's just take a little part from the beginning of it and loop it around. Just get that going there. Just add some effect to it, extra effect. Out there, huh? So let's grab another device that I like a lot. Let's sharpen this a little bit. Add some effect to that. And let's get the Dext. So here's Dext, everybody. So Dext is free, unlike the plugin of the CS-80 is not expensive, but it costs money. This is Dext, and if you guys, I'm sure a lot of you know what Dext is. But it's basically a DX7 in a plugin, and I love this thing. I think it's one of the best free plugins that you can get yourself. It is amazing. It's exactly the DX7. You could even program it. What's great about it is that you can go and grab the cards here and program it. The amazing part about it is you could like put together like you could. There are literally thousands of presets online for DX7 sounds, so you can go through thousands of presets and organize a cart that you love, and then save that and keep that. And then if you really wanted to, you could, if you have an actual DX7, you can just download it right into the DX7, so you can like use it as a way to like program your DX7 and then send the sounds directly to the DX7, which is you can load DX7 patches. Yes, we know what I used to do, which is really cool. I had the Korg Volca, the FM, the Korg Volca FM, and you can actually send the presets from Dext into the Korg Volca FM, and it won't play. It's only a mono synth, the Korg Volca, but it will play those exact same sounds. You could just find the sounds that you love, sound great on there. Either send them to your DX7 or send them directly to your Korg Vocal FM. And I don't know, I sold it to a friend who really loved it and needed it for a show they were doing. And I always thought about getting another Korg Vocal FM, and because it's my favorite of all the Volcas that are out there. And I never did it. So I think I even spent like a week listening to like thousands of DX7 sounds and making a perfect kind of selection of amazing presets for my Volca. But yeah, if you have a Volca, you should be immediately downloading the DX7 or this Dext and setting it up, exporting it to a sysx file, Then you'll need a SysX editor librarian, which is a program that will allow you to transmit via MIDI into any synth that accepts it. And you'll be just working with that. But anyway, let's get to the sounds here. What do I have here as far as sounds on this deck? So, oh, that's already really nice. That's really nice. Let's just start with that one immediately. Let's see what we have here. Let's get back. I don't want to see it in the directory here. I just want to get back into the synth. So if you know, this is I believe it's a 4 operator. It might be actually it's a 6 operator FM synthesizer, and it sounds amazing. And let's just make some music with it right now. There's my Vangelis sounding CS-80. It's a little loud. So let me just play some parts in there and then I'll select them later. A little louder than that. Interesting with these sounds, hard to pitch them correctly. All right, let's just pick something that works in here, and then we'll maybe switch out the sound. Let's get a pattern that works. I'm gonna take the first thing, just like in the other part. I always find that DJ Hell taught me that the first cut is the deepest, and it's really weird, but when you're writing, kind of jamming out and writing stuff, for me it's more often than not that the first thing that I play out and any kind of like experiment that I'm doing is the coolest thing that I did, and that's what DJ Hell used to always do. That when we worked on New York Muscle in my studio in New York, he would always just grab something, start playing, and the first thing he would play, he would always just say, take that. First cut is the deepest. So the first cut is the deepest. Let's just take the first 2 bars of that. And that's nice, but let's switch out the sound. Let's go through some of the presets, see how this thing sounds. Let's select this over here. So spacey. Oh, that's beautiful. Let's put that other sound back in. And now that 303 is out of tune with everything else, so let's tune that 303 somehow. So Complex Pro mode will let me tune it. Take it up an octave. It'll be easier to tune it from there. So that's the note. So now I know that it's at 2 semitones below. So I'll just take it, bring it down by 2 octaves. And there we go. We just tuned that nicely there. We could also tweak this if we could put a filter on it. I'm going to do a little mixing and matching here. I'm going to grab a filter from my UAD filters here. I have a Moog transistor ladder filter. There we are. Just grab this and put this in here and use a DX7 with a Moog filter on it. There's that Moog filter, and let's filter that. Wow, that little resonance. See, Simple Sam. What is he saying? This wonderful big transpose reminds me that I am not all that thrilled by the 11.1 update. Okay, I'm not sure what Simple Sam is referring to, but I'm loving my filter here. Adds a little more, and what's cool is that you could add some drive to it. So let's get it nice and driven, and maybe some spacing to make it. Too much spacing and it'll get muffled too much on one side. Here's my Vangelis sound. Maybe I'll take the same filter for that too. I'll drop it in there. Close this one out. Let's get some percussion going in here. Let's find an interesting way of doing percussion. Let's grab our drum rack and let's do my old chicken scratch style of doing things. Let's find a drum rack here that has nice percussion, weird stuff. Let's just randomly look for something. Well, that's weird. Just looking for weird. Oh yeah, congas would be nice. We could do Latin percussion, but I was thinking something more electronic. So just gonna try to get lucky here. Ah, that's pretty lucky. Now these are like more like what I'm talking about. Not too crazy. Alright, let's try that. Let's see what that's gonna give us. Let's see. It might not work, but let's see. Derek Mays DX100 running through Juan's Matrix 1000. Matrix 1000. I used to have a Matrix 1000. I wish I had it again. Oh well. We give up things as we move through. Let's see. Let's get to the right place. Okay, let's lower that so it doesn't blow our ears out. And let's write some chicken scratch. And you know, with chicken scratch, I just like to set my recording quantization on and then just kind of go nuts and just play things at random and then kind of stop where it might be cool, and I'll just take like maybe a half a bar or something. Not feeling this drum rack. I'm gonna switch it out for another one, see what this one does. It's taking too long. I might just go straight for the Latin percussion one and maybe try to put that through some distortion or something. Strange. Let's go to the Latin one. Just do the conga A, see what that's all about. There we should be playing stuff. Put it to some distortion though. Let's restart that 303. That's actually kind of nice, but too Latin for me. Even though I am Latin, it's a little too Latin for me right now. So I'm gonna try to mangle it up a bit. So for mangling, I guess we can try some. Let's do some overdrive to start with. See what happens there. Let's lower this so it. It's not driving enough for me. I want some serious distortion. Let's go back to my UAD stuff. I have some interesting things there. There might be this rat thing, which is really nice. Oh, I want this raw thing. Let's see what that does. Nah, not really cutting it. Not cutting it for me. Just gonna have to find another type of sound. Maybe another. Let's put the music back in. Maybe another drum rack here. Gyrate. Try that in there. Hey, I like that now. Just take this, bring it down a little. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's put a little sidechaining on that. Sidechain that to the kick. I mean, I know pretty usual thing there, but why not? Where's the compressor? Let's grab a little sidechain to the punch box. And too much. Let me take that and resample that, because I might want to change it audio wise. So I'm going to take 7 gyrate and just resample it right in there. And I'll stop using this one and then just use this one. And I'll take the, how much of the, yeah, that's okay. Let's grab that. Now I could take this and maybe warp it and I don't really like that second one, or the second part to it. That one right there, I don't really like that, so I'm gonna take that out. Get that out with the pencil. Just want the little tom in there. Let's open up some of these filters. Next one. looks like we're running out of time. That's unfortunate. Well, let's stop here. So, I'm going to save this, and maybe we'll pick it up next week and continue to work on what we've been working on now. And maybe if you have any suggestions, if you have any comments, leave them in the chat. By the way, if you like what you're seeing, please give me a thumbs up, because I'd like to impress my friends with that. And if you want to see me take this in a particular direction, just write in the chat or write into the comment section below and let me know. And next week we'll just keep this going and keep moving and doing what you guys want. If you want cat samples in there, we could do that. We can do whatever you like. So let me save this and then I'll make sure that I can keep this for next time. But in the meantime, while I'm saving this, let's call this cat. That way I'll remember what it is. In the meantime, remember, you're watching 343 TV. I'm Abe Duque. I'm here every Friday at 1 p.m. Tomorrow, we usually have John Selway's show at 1 p.m., which we will have his show at 1 p.m. But before and after that, there will be plenty of other streaming events going on. Well, it's a big streaming event. There will be plenty of other shows. I will actually be streaming tomorrow at 2 after John. John will go at 1 with Anthony Rother as a guest. That's a great guest. And I will be streaming at 2 after him. And then later he's on with Christian Smith again, which is kind of crazy. So tune in for tomorrow's show. Tune in for tomorrow's sync event. Really, it's more than just a show, where we will be doing this Saturday and Sunday. It's pray for us as well, because we're really trying to make sure this thing goes smoothly and that we don't embarrass ourselves. I'm sure we're not going to. I'm just saying it's a big undertaking. So with that, thank you everybody for joining me. I'm going to leave you with the starting soon screen for sync for tomorrow, which is going to be the event of the weekend. See you then.